Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. But my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy SL 550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Before we start, man, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to 1K subscribers. I can't do it without you. Please do me a favor right now. Matter of fact, hit that subscribe button for me. I truly do appreciate it. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. Today, man, we're going to talk about a few things. Trump went to Davos, Switzerland. It went great. He is exposing the globalist elite, and he's doing a great job at it. And I just don't think people see the true picture of what's really going on in America, and we're going to talk about it. Also, first we're going to get into there's this guy who's kind of being exposed for being fake, claiming it to be a chairman or something for the Black Panther Party movement. And he's hit the goal is he is combating ICE. He is going against ICE. Why? Why? That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into a few clips, and then I want to actually show the real Black Panther movement, what they really stand for, and when they were in the prime, what it was meant for, bro. Because people, they're watering down every single thing, bro. With the BLM movement, all of these different things. When it's so watered down that they're comparing George Floyd to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. People are saying that George Floyd is a legend. Bro, stop. Let's get into it.
I can hold my gun like this. It's the law. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108 says I can hold my long arm in my hand. Just can't hit my finger on the trigger, which is not. So don't ask me to do nothing that's against the law. Can I help you?
You know, there's something powerful about knowing your rights, especially when you come from a community that's been historically over-policed, overlooked, and underserved. Now, recently, in Philly, a video started circulating showing a group of officers using what looked like excessive force on a young black boy. And when things like this happen, it always brings up the same questions. Was it necessary? Who's holding these officers accountable? And most importantly, who's protecting our people? Well, this time, the community didn't just stay silent. The Black Panther Party pulled up, and not just with weapons in hand, but with wisdom, presence, and purpose. They made it known. We see you. We know our rights, and we're not backing down. Now, yeah, some of those officers were black too, but always remember, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Just because somebody looks like us doesn't mean they stand with us. That's why community oversight is so important. We gotta hold everybody accountable, regardless of the uniform or the badge. This moment right here speaks to something bigger. It's about unity, about community self-defense, and about reminding the system that black folks are not just statistics. We're not just hashtags. We're organized, educated, and watching. So before we get into the video, I want you to really watch how this went down. This ain't just about confrontation. It's about education, protection, and standing 10 toes down for your people.
First of all, off rip, right? You're tell me how. Number one, you're walking around the city with a fully loaded shotgun, allegedly, right? Cool. You have the right to protect yourself. All of them. I'm for all of that, right? And I'm also for actually riding for real issues, right? My thing is these people are so-called out here defending ICE, defending illegal immigrants that are here in the country that are soaking up your resources as a black man and as a black woman. Tell me how you defending these people being in the country illegally. Nobody, including Trump, is saying that immigrants from any country can be in America. This country is full of immigrants, but you have to be here legally. We have laws just like every other country. None of these people would be able to, in the numbers of millions, go to any country, Russia, China, India, I don't care where it's at, and just go over the border and get money, housing, and all of this shit. Only in America does this foolishness happen, and then you have black people acting like they're riding for a cause. You're riding for the wrong cause, my guy. That's my problem with all of this, is that you're not riding for the right cause, bro. But let's get into more of the video.
I can hold my gun like this. It's the law. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108 says I can hold my long arm in my hand. This can't hit my finger on the trigger, which is not. So don't ask me to do nothing that's against the law. Can I help you? I'm out here minding my business. I'm out here to control and watch you. Anything else? Because you guys like beating up on teenagers. Somebody sent us a video of y'all beating up a teenager.
Y'all, wasn't it?
It was y'all. You a police officer. You part of that. You part of that. It was y'all. It was y'all. If you don't like to be labeled in with slave catchers, you shouldn't have touched their oath, sellout. You are a sellout. You wearing their shit. You are a sellout. You ain't protecting shit. You got to do whatever they tell you to, including hurt your people. Because you walking up to me and I don't like you and I don't trust you and I don't got no conversation with you. So unless you're investigating the crime, leave me the alone.
When I'm here,
I don't care. I got a gun license right here. This is legal. Philadelphia Crime Code 6108. Move your car out of people's way and get the out of my face.
I respect knowing the law. I believe every black man, woman, everybody for that matter should know the law. I'm for that 100%. I'm for you protecting yourself, even protecting your community. My thing is you're protecting the wrong thing though. My thing is this, right? Do police officers have a bad history in America against black folks? Yes. Yes, they do. It's not a secret. Right? My thing is this, though. At this time in America, we have more of our own people killing each other than you do police officers. Like my thing is this. We have put ourselves in a box to the point where if you're a black man and you're successful and you have some nice cars and you dress like a street nigga, right? And you got vehicles, you got people automatically put you in a box of, oh, he must be selling drugs. Because this is the box that we put ourselves in at this point. We put ourselves in this box. They put drugs in the community. We took the bait, right? We took the bait, we sold the drugs, and we did exactly what they wanted us to do. But instead of us combating that and saying, yo, you know what, bro, we not selling drugs in the hood no more. Pulling up on drug dealers saying, yo, you not selling drugs out here no more. You know what I'm saying? You cool. You mad at police for police in the city, right? Combating the shit that you should be combating. You know, going to your community, telling your own people, yo, we need to put the drugs down. We need to put the guns down. We need to be more of a community. We need to do right. We need to start building businesses in our community and really doing what they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for example. That's the thing. They did that during the time of real racism, real segregation, and they did it. They did it and they did it greatly. And yes, white folks got jealous. White folks got mad and burnt it down. But now we have more millionaires, more billionaires than ever before in history, right? And now we're out here combating the wrong shit. You're combating the wrong shit, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Thank you, officer.
Have a good day.
You have a bad one. Sell out. Out of here. What you smiling for? Sell out. Do you know where you came from? Slave catchers hired you to help catch their property, which was us. Slave catcher controls the origin of that cash. Get the fuck out of here. Go where you're needed. We don't need your help. Get out the street. Like your supervisor said. Get out the street. Get out the fucking street.
Another W.
Go with him. Go with him. Get out the fucking street. You blocking traffic. Get out the fucking street.
W.
Get the fuck out the street. Thought you was gonna disarm somebody?
What we just witnessed isn't just a moment. It's a reflection of a long, ongoing struggle for power, protection, and justice in Black communities across this country. The presence of the Black Panther Party in that Philly neighborhood wasn't random. It was intentional. It was a form of organized resistance, rooted in a history of self-defense, education, and accountability. And in this case, their very presence made officers back down. That's real power, not just physical, but psychological and political.
And I respect it. I truly do. I do respect, because the fact of the matter is that if he wasn't quoting law, if he wasn't letting them know that I know the law, here's the law for you in case you don't know, right? And they was able to go on about their business. I respect all of that. 100%. 100%. Hold on real quick. Let me fix this. I don't know what happened. I don't know why that moved. Anyway, yeah, but 100%, I respect all of that. My thing that I disagree with is number one, why why you got to be aggressive? Cuz that's not going to do anything positive, bro. But more importantly, I want you to pull up on the block. I want you to pull up on your own people and tell them to put the drugs down, put the guns down, right? That's the movement we need to start. That's the movement that we need to be worrying about. Is building up our community. You know what I mean? Striving for our people to get education. Like, bro, even with reparations, right? I see them. I see them like reparations. We should have been had reparations, right? We owed that. This is what I mean by we fighting for the wrong shit, right? We allowed Jews who aren't even from here come here, right? Seek refuge in America. And not only did America give these motherfuckers a whole country, they gave them a country. They didn't just, like, here goes your little neighbor. No, they gave them a country, and they got neighborhoods throughout the whole United States. Not only did they give them a whole country, they give them billions of dollars annually. Annually, and they're not even from here. They're not even from here, bro. We were slaves 400 years from here. Citizens of America, African Americans. And instead of us going to the table and actually getting something worthwhile and actually using it to actually benefit America, benefit our communities. Because at the end of the day, bro, we can do all of this shit, but we're still Americans. There's still going to be white folks here, Latino folks here, Jamaicans, multicultural, hella different people here. So making this whole us against you thing still is, I don't know. I don't see the benefit in it. I say you focus on your own community, and you need to get this way with the people in the community too. You know what I'm saying? And then I can respect it. Let's
Let's
watch
be
a little
real.
more of this.
This isn't just about one incident or one city. This is about a system that has always viewed Black resistance as a threat and Black youth as suspects.
That's a
It's
fact.
why generations of community leaders, from Fred Hampton to today's local organizers, have emphasized the importance of knowing your rights and exercising them out loud. Because
All right, so let's move on from this video. So no, I want to try to find something real fast, because somebody had I want to see something real quick, because they was talking about this guy. They was talking. Let's see what they're talking about.
Peace, family. Welcome
was
to
talking
another
about
edition
this
of Morris
guy.
Road TV. I'm your host, Brother Tahaka Bay. And yes, we are back. We are back to talk about Paul Bird's song. Now listen, I could be wrong, so please don't quote everything I say as being the gospel. But listen,
We're just gonna watch a little bit of it, is just to give you
I've been doing some research, and one of the things that I wanted to research is I wanted to see was Paul Birdsong a blood?
Listen, this is what he says in an article. He says also, he said, I came from gangs. And originally, that was what my music, my graffiti, my beats, and my life consisted of. As I became an activist, I got deeper and deeper into activism, my life. My life, my music, and my graffiti changed. I now use my talents to enlighten and liberate my people while simultaneously defending my people and our culture from oppression and vultures. All power to the people. Let me stop right there.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that I just wanted to show that real quick because allegedly this guy was like, they saying he cosplaying. Don't know. I don't want to say he is or he isn't, right? Um, but that's beside the point. My issue isn't whether or not what this guy is talking about is valid or not, right? Because we know the history, like I said, of the police in America, the racism in America. The problem is like how long are we going to continue to dwell on those things instead of actually worrying about the bigger issue, which is our own communities throughout the whole United States. Like when you look at the young niggas out here sliding on the app, slime this, slime that, and all of that, like I don't want to shit on my people. Like, but the fact of the matter is, we know, come on, bro. We know, bro. We're so far gone and so far removed from what most of these movements even originated from. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go, bro, you could go back and do your history on Fred Hampton, on Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, all of these guys. I'm actually gonna play this clip because this is supposed to be um actual members of the Black Panther Party, talk the original, some of the original guys. Let's see what they gotta say real quick.
For illegals, we're not gonna.
Go back.
Our stance is, for illegals, we're not gonna step in front of that. That's not our fight. That has nothing to do with us. We're not gonna step into that fight and going through the community defending somebody that we didn't even want to be here. You know what I mean? We got brought over here.
Exactly.
We don't want to be here. And this is a problem we've had since our shackled feet have hit the soil. So we've always had the SWAT teams coming in our communities, doing whatever they're doing. And sometimes, yes, they do pick up the wrong people, things of that nature. This is the same situation. It's just got a different name. It's a raid.
Yep.
It's just a different name.
It's
and
not
so, yeah, we're not in that fight. But as far as our other brown folks and things like that, we do stand up and defend, the citizens and the poor and the things like that. But as far as illegal immigration, yeah, that's not our fight. That's not something we need to get into. Our stance is,
And I'm with him 100%. That's something that we don't have a fight in. We shouldn't even be talking about. It has nothing to do with us whatsoever. And what they don't understand is that these people are soaking up your resources. I showed a chart a while back on the channel where legal and illegal immigrants are getting more social welfare benefits than actual U.S. born citizens of all colors. Of all colors. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that makes sense, bro. This is why America is crumbling because you have a lot of people like Obama, Ilhan Omar, Kamala. These are people that aren't really U.S. citizens, bro. They have allegiance to other countries. They are from other countries. They come here seeking refuge like Ilhan Omar. And, they act like they're American and they love the American culture and all of this, and they become congressmen and congresswomen, and now they're in the system. Now they're in it. Now they're changing shit. Now they're doing all of this weird stuff, bro. And this is why America national security risk is at an all-time high because it's so much everything is diluted, bro. Everything is diluted. And the thing about these movements is we know that, if it gets to a point, the government is going to infiltrate it regardless. And it's going to be your own people that's going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this. I believe that we need to focus on our own communities. If that's the if we're going to talk about black issues, how about we actually talk about black issues instead of keep trying to blame the white man for the reasons why where are we at? I'm not naive to the history of America. I'm not naive to it, not even a little bit. But the fact still remains is that the system is the way the system is. So the only thing you could do, like that man did, was learn the system. Learn to how to beat the system. That's what they do. They built the system, teach the system to their children for generations after generations, hide it from us. But it's in plain sight for you to learn. We choose not to learn it. Why? Because we choose to care about ball, sports or whatever, rapping, all things that aren't really gonna get us any changes, really. And most of the people that they got, like Jasmine Crockett and the girl from, I don't even remember her name, from New Jersey. Bro, these people ain't doing nothing for you. They ain't doing nothing for us. Most of these people aren't doing shit for the black community. They're not doing anything but robbing the black community along with the with the white folks. You feel me? Like, what are we talking about, bro? You listen, bro. We got to tackle real issues in the black community. There's way more bigger issues to tackle in the black community, right? And there's so many more millionaires and billionaires that are melanated, bro, that could come together and we could build our own infrastructures, build up our own communities. It's just what it is. And it doesn't even have to be a blackety black thing. It could just be we're actually building something. So we don't got to worry about our kids going out selling drugs or having to go, throw a ball. Like, I'm not trying to shit. I love sports. I play sports. But I'm not saying like that's a negative. That's a positive. That gets some kids through college scholarships and shit. That's a tool to be used. But we're so far removed from actually valuing education in America as a whole, really, as a whole, but especially in the black community. Like back in the day, we really cared about education. That was like a big thing, a huge thing. And that's why we was able to build up Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, you know what I mean, and do that. But man, the Panther Party movement, back in those days, bro, they was against you selling drugs in the black community. They was against that. You know what I'm saying? They like you was gonna get taken out if you was doing that. Well, let's show a little bit of highlights of what how the Black Panther Party, kind of started in its original form.
In October 1966, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton, a pair of students in Oakland, galvanized
A pair of students in Oakland. They were students, meaning they came from educational background.
by Malcolm X's philosophy of black self-determination, launched the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Their goal was to protect their community from racism and violence, which meant protecting it from the police.
When we first started, we had a police alert patrol, and we would patrol the community. If we saw the police brutalizing anyone, we put an end to this. Usually the police wouldn't brutalize anyone if we were on hand.
Did the Panthers embrace a willingness to use arms to defend themselves? Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's usually the only part of the story that we get.
Yeah.
Even more energy was expended in social programs.
The Panthers put their revolutionary philosophy into practical action. They developed programs targeted at poor black people. They provided the community with free medical care, including sickle cell screening programs, as well as clothing for the needy. Many believe that the Panthers' free breakfast program for school children helped inspire the USDA's federal breakfast program.
It was the reason why.
We were not for integration, we were for self-determination.
Yeah.
We wanted to have the right to determine ourselves what we wanted. Economic opportunity, decent education, access to the full complement of privileges, benefits, and responsibilities of any American.
Yep.
Not even the FBI was able to stop the spread of the Panthers' ideals, encouraging black people to defend themselves from police brutality and fight for their rights. Decades later, The Black Panthers' legacy continues to live in a variety of political, cultural, and social realms, most recently in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, but I just wanted to play that real quick because like the Black Panther movement was really big and it was feared, it was revered, bro. And they actually stood for the community though. They was actually helping the community, whether it was the free lunch, whether it was the free breakfast, I mean, and giving out clothes and things like that. Like they really were putting together a movement that was nationwide that really helped the community. And that's the things that I'm for. I'm for that. I'm not for these politicians faking it, acting like they're doing it. But everything actually, when you look at most of the things that have been done in the black community, all of the welfare and stuff like that, it, yes, is it good to get help with getting groceries to feed your family? Of course. But at what cost, though? At what's the cost? I'm not having a man in a home. What's that going to cost you? That's going to cost you structure in the home. So it's so many different variables to this stuff, bro. But my thing is this, man. Nigga, fuck, sticking up for illegal immigrants, bro. Y'all can like, how don't you see how they're trying to, the civil rights movement was a black movement. It was a black movement. It was African Americans in America marching together to get the right to vote, the right to do whatever everything we're doing today. And now they're taking civil rights and you know, they're um, re- you got the LGBTQ community relating, to the blacks. Like what? The they're illegal immigrants. You heard what the brother said. He said, "Listen, that's not our fight. It's not." He's like, like, bro, they not even supposed to be here, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's just like, bro, people just be fighting for all the wrong shit. But it's not organic. It's not a grassroots issue. You know what I mean? And we know that why? Because Obama deported hella illegal immigrants. Every president has deported illegal immigrants. They've been against illegal immigration since the beginning of time. Borders are there for a reason. So for people to pretend like these things are absurd what Trump is doing. I can't believe he's doing these things. Like, come on, bro, stop, man. It's all fake, man. It's fake. And meanwhile, just think about it. This guy, these people are willing to put their lives on the line for illegal immigrants that would not put their life on the line any time of the day for you. Like, for a fact, they would not, bro. They would not put their lives on the line for you. You out there putting it all on the line for illegal immigrants, bro. But yet, you still gonna let your own people ruin the community, shoot up the community, kill the community, and you ain't gonna say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. That's what I dislike. It's a shit watered down, bro. It's all of these things, bro. They're taking everything and they're watering it down, where it doesn't even really stand for nothing anymore, man. It's crazy, man. Anyway, let's get into this next. Let's get into this next joint.
All right, Patriots. Now, this video is special because our President Donald J. Trump, went to the World Economic Forum in Davos. And when I tell y'all, nothing made me more proud to be an American and for him to be our leader than what I saw today. Because as we all know, there has been a one world global agenda that started back in 1912 with Woodrow Wilson when he tried to introduce what was called the League of Nations. And the League of Nations is what the modern day United Nations is. But it failed because back then, the people were a lot more educated. It wasn't television. There was no social media. People did a lot of reading and they attended political rallies and they really listened to what their politicians had to say. They really cared. So to participate in the political system was a big deal. It was an actual honor. And so the public was against it and it did not work. Woodrow Wilson tried everything because he was a Illuminati globalist pawn. That's exactly how the income tax got started. He was working with the international bankers. They did away with tariffs and decided they sold it to the public that they were going to tax the top 1%, and that was going to be revenue for the country. Look up today, everybody's paying it. And so that's what these globalists do. They pitch it like they're going to go after the wealthy, even though they are the wealthy. That's their friends. That is their class. But they sell it to the lower classes like, we're going to get them. And the lower classes are like, yeah, they've got it. Let's go get them. The only problem is those same people, that top 1% or that top 0.5%, they have really good accountants, really great lawyers, and their best friends and dinner buddies and golf partners with the same politicians that are making the rules. So guess what? Coincidentally, they get the loophole. And when they get the loophole, that revenue still got to be generated. And guess who it falls to? On the people. So what these globalists have been working at doing, they want to have a one world government where every single citizen is nothing more than a slave, a pawn. Think about it. Venezuela used to be a free country. Now it's under dictatorship and rule. There's many other countries out there like that. Why everybody's running around saying no kings, no kings. You got dictators all over the place.
And that's because it's all, bro, it's all projection. They're projecting onto Trump everything that they stand for and everything that they want to do. They want to be a dictator. The Democratic Party wants to dictate the future for America, and that's why they brung in all of these illegal immigrants, bro. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you bring in tens of millions of illegal immigrants? Why? And then on top of that, and then this is another thing that I hate. Like, it's something small, but it matters though, because this is how ignorant we are, is that we allow these people to say, oh, because my thing is this: the election is an important part of our culture here in America, right? So the elections people have to know that their vote counts, that it matters when they put their vote in, right? Now with Biden and them, it's coming out that they rigged the 2020 election, and they tried to do the same thing in 2024. Now they say that they don't want to pass the SAVE Act, which would make it mandatory for you to have to prove that you're a US born citizen, because black people don't have identification. This is this is a real thing. Like, they really think, no, I don't. They know black people got identification. Listen, when you come home from prison, right? It's mandatory that you get a social security card, a birth certificate, and an ID. So even the criminals who went and did their time, came home, and they have identification proving that they're a US born citizen, bro. Everybody has identification. You have to have it in order to get welfare. You have to have it in order to get a job. You have to have it, bruh. But that was their excuse on why they don't want to pass the SAVE Act in order to have integrity with elections. No, it's because they don't want that, because they want illegal immigrants to be able to vote. It's that simple. That's why they brought in all of these illegal immigrants and gave them housing and gave them food and gave them money and said, yo, you know what? We're not only going to do that, we're going to give you, a SBA loan. We're going to give you a CDL license. They were giving them licenses, like, just giving it to them. Can't drive, fucking out here causing accidents. Oh, bro, this stuff is ridiculous. The fact that people are out here acting like they care and that they want these things to actually happen is absurd, bro. It's actually nutty as fuck, to be honest with you.
United States is literally the last free and sovereign nation where free speech, the right to bear arms, is under attack, because if they can topple America, they can rule the West. If they can take us under, they can control the game, which is why they have been doing a full court press ever since Joe Biden took office, because apparently the game started when Obama took office. That was the globalist wet dream, to have a melanated person, but who's really, his mother is white, didn't grow up around his father. So he was melanated, which means that he could appeal to the whites and appeal to the people of color. He was articulate. He was trained. They had him ready. His code name as a CIA asset was Renegade, and that's Barack Obama. That's when it started. And then Trump, he messed it up because Hillary Clinton was supposed to take the mantle from Obama.
Yeah.
And there's already documented reports that Putin in Russia has that she is a psychopath. She literally takes medication, allegedly, because she has fits of rage and bouts of anger and just loses her mind for no reason.
Well, just think about it. Even when who was that? Gaddafi that got killed. Um, and her reaction to finding out the news was she was excited, like she was ecstatic, like yes, we got him. We came, we saw, we whatever she said. Like Hillary Clinton is definitely a nut job.
But she was next in line, and then after her, Michelle Obama was supposed to run it because they were going to keep it in the family and make sure they controlled it. Trump jumped in there, messed up everything. But if you remember,
Yeah.
Trump was new to Washington in that regard. He knew the players, but he didn't know the game. And so he was looking for help, and people that he thought was on his team that were Republicans, they were rhinos, and they set him up. They put in people that were posing as Republican allies, but really they were supporters of Obama, just with an R behind their name rather than a D.
Yep.
And
this is why I say that's what people don't really understand about all of this is that Trump was shocked that he got elected. But Trump got elected because people wanted change. They liked it the transparency. They liked it the realness with Trump. It wasn't just politics as usual, right? Trump changed politics forever. That's why you got all of these politicians now. They cursing, they getting provocative and things like that. That's because of Trump. That's Trump. Trump exposed the news, the media. He exposed all of the fraud, all of the corruption within inside of the government. You see it every single day. It's coming out daily of all of the money that they've been stealing from us. Politicians is under the hot seat. Obama on the hot seat. We finding out he was a foreign asset. We finding out that Hillary was basically bribed $18 million to. She was the setup to get the election in 2016. It's so much stuff with this stuff. That's why I tell people, man, this stuff is bigger than we know. We're getting bits and pieces, and people are putting things together and finding out all of these things. And then you got whistleblowers and former FBI agents coming out exposing a lot of truths that that people kind of feel and know, but they really don't have the information. But now it's all starting to crumble. And who crumbled it all? Who's toppling all of this shit? Donald Trump, bro. Donald Trump. I'm telling you, bro. This guy this guy is not what people think. I talk to people all the time, and it actually I respect it to a degree, just because of how I think. But it blows my mind how many people are programmed and manipulated, and I know they are because anytime they say the usual shit that they hear on MSNBC and CNN, MS now, or now they call it, but they say the same talking points, right? And then they'll be, oh, Trump is a racist. How could you fuck with Donald Trump? And I'm like, well, how's he a racist? What has he done that's racist? And they bring up the Central Park Five. They got to go back 30, 35 years and to prove that Donald Trump is racist, which is ridiculous. But that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is that people genuinely hate. Hate is strong, bro. It's strong. I may dislike a lot of. I dislike that Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris. They're all bimbos. They're all dumb. But I don't hate them. I don't know them to hate them. But at the end of the day, bro, the way they have, I got to give it to them. The way they have manipulated people for decades is commendable, bro. It's applaudable, to be honest with you. Because it's not that's not like a simple task to do, bro. And I'm talking about people are brainwashed, bro. Like MK Ultra for real.
Trump was still able to steamroll through and get a lot of things done, but he couldn't really push the lever the way he wanted. And then we all know what happened in 2020. We had the pandemic. Then all of a sudden, we get this wacky election where Trump is winning. Nobody's supporting Joe Biden like that. And then in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, the numbers flip. Joe Biden picks up millions of votes, hundreds of thousands of votes, and Joe Biden becomes the president.
The fact that Joe Biden had more, this how you know, Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama, bro. Listen, bro, listen. I may dislike Barack Obama at this point in my life, but everyone and their mother voted for Barack Obama, bro. Everybody voted for Barack Obama, bro. And you're telling me that Joe Biden, sleepy Joe Biden, got more votes than Barack Obama, especially in his first term? Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe it. But he's right, though. Think about it. Trump came in, right? So you got to understand, Trump was already at the upper echelon. He been rich all his life. He already, giving money to campaigns and all of that. He used to dine with Hillary Clinton and them. Like, come on, stop. That's why it's funny. Oprah, all of them. It's funny that they say these things about him, but they all were his friends, right? But now, anyway, that's beside the point. He had 2016, right? So he had 2016 to 2020, where it was like, they were just kind of handpicking people and he was kind of figuring things out. He really didn't know what the role was of being the president. So he had to figure all of these things out, right? And he did a pretty good job to be a person that wasn't a politician, right? He did a pretty good job. COVID happened. They rigged the 2020 election. So then he had another 4 years of just basically brainstorming about, the future of America, things that he really wanted to do that he didn't get to do in his first term. That's the reason why Donald Trump came back in 2024 and ran. But the difference between 2016 and 2024 is that Donald Trump now knows who is who, what is what's really going on. He has seen classified information, all types of things, like all the lawfare, the corruption that was going on that he had to deal with, going through court, being impeached, all of these different things. Yo, to go through all of that and then become president flawlessly at that, winning the electoral college, winning the popular vote, all of that, right? Hands down, won the election, can't even speak on it, discuss it, disagree with anything. He won the election, got a mandate. And now he's on a whole nother level with this shit. That's why they can't do anything. That's why it's like, yo, he winning in every category. And especially if he can win the tariff situation that's coming up in the spring, if he can win that, it's over, bro. America is back. Because with the Democrats, why we're this hat today? Because we're fucking screwed fucking with these Democrats, bro. Anyway, let's get back into this Davos thing.
Campaigning from his basement during the pandemic. Kind of ironic that the pandemic happened at the same time we had all of this election chaos, ain't it? Some coincidence. So throughout them 4 years, think about what happened. We started talking about men having children, men using women's bathrooms, men in women's sports, illegal immigrant invasion, inflation through the roof, taxes. It was crazy. If you look at it, you can see they were on overdrive working to destroy this country and to set it up where they could continue on. But here was the problem. They put Joe Biden in the seat because he was the only person that they knew Obama could control like a puppet. And Obama's on record saying that if he had it his way, he could do a third term. He'd do it in a basement, in his sweats, controlling the person like a puppet master. No, Joe Biden wasn't mentally there. Who was really calling the shots? Because Obama didn't have to take the backlash. And Biden didn't even know he was facing backlash. They say that they allegedly gave this man his own televisions and played positive news is what he saw. In his mind, he was the greatest president since FDR.
Yo.
And he really believed
Ain't that crazy if that really happened, though? They said that they said they put a TV in front of Joe Biden and played them all positive news. That's fucked up, bro. That's so fucked up shit.
And then we got Kamala Harris, who was so terrible of a candidate with all $2.5 billion. And then with what was it? She had all of the lamestream media support. She had every celebrity in the country campaigning for. She had Hollywood directors helping her stage her events, the great Oprah and all of them. And she got blown out by President Trump. That was the second thorn he put in their side. Except this time he learned, not only from his first term, but while he was out, he was able to watch. He was able to see the moles pop up, who the real traitors were, because none of them thought he was getting back in. But people like you and I, we did our part and he got back in there. So what he did is he went out there to these globalists, y'all, and he whooped up on them and he let it be known, him and Harry Lutnick and Scott Bessent, America represented. So we're going to get into these video clips because you're going to be proud. Check this out. Now, this first clip is Trump getting there. Look at the standing ovation he gets. Don't let these lamestream media and these liberals make you believe people around the world don't love Trump. The people do. The politicians and the leaders don't, because they see he's taking a wrecking ball to their plans that they've been putting together.
Yo, that's a good point, bro. That's a good point. We know their stance. We know why they hate Trump. They hate Trump because he's exposing everything. Every plan that they had is done. It's over. But it's not easy, though. It's not easy at all. And Trump is exposing everything. Just think about just in the past 2 weeks, right? Between Nick Shirley and, the stuff that happened in Maine, and then they're getting to California with all the hospice shit. All of this fraud is being exposed everywhere, bro. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars of fraud, bro. And like I always say, that's only one thing. We're talking about fraud, which is big because it's money. But they're just taking all of our money, and we just keep electing them, and we just keep letting them do it. People coming in, worth, nothing, in debt. Now they're worth 200 million. Ilhan Omar in a year, 30 million. Both her and her white husband. So she's such she cares about white supremacy so much, but when got a white husband as a Muslim woman, that's nah. Anyway, 30 million in 1 year. Both of them. His net worth was like 50,000. Hers, let's just say, is the same or maybe a little higher. Or maybe it was in the negative. I don't know. But I know it wasn't that much money. Now, within a year's time, 30 million? Come on, bro. How long are we going to continue to let these people rob us? This is why I say, and this goes for not just black people, this goes for all Americans. How long are we going to allow these people to keep using us, right? And then come making up bullshit on why they got to tax us even more. Because the whole taxing the rich shit, that shit is just, it sounds good. It sounds good. You're trying to tax the people that actually pay most of the taxes and can afford to just up and route and move to a better situation, or just move altogether out of the country like they were doing because they don't want to deal with the bullshit, with the greed and everything that's going on here in America, bro. It should get deep, bro. It really
Together
does.
for 50,
My
60
bad. Let me let him rock
years.
out.
Now, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app, a super chat, or a donation. China's not using that crap. He's selling it. You're going to hear Trump talk about it, but check out this ovation he gets when he come in, and I'm going to let our president get the ripping. Check this out.
Everybody hate him so much. They all standing up, though.
Everybody in the place stood up. All right, let's get into it, y'all. So now, in this first clip, he's gonna take it straight to the globalists and point out how they've been taking advantage of America. And I'm loving him when he's doing this. Check this one out.
I ain't gonna lie.
With that,
I ain't gonna lie real quick. I like that he does that. Like, he doesn't, you could be in the room and he's gonna tell you what he doesn't like, bro. That's what you want.
I was so, because she was so aggressive. And I realized in that conversation that the United States is keeping the whole world afloat. Many places, I could give you 6, 7 places just in the people in this little area. I know every one of them. They're sort of, they're looking down. They don't want to see me. They don't want to stare me in the eyes. But they're taking advantage of, everybody took advantage of the United States. But I've been very fair, and I gave them a tariff, and it was fine. But I realized that without us, it's not Switzerland anymore. Without us, it's not any of the countries that are represented here. And we want to work with the countries. We want to work with them. We're not looking to destroy them.
So as you heard it flat out, y'all been ripping us off and taking advantage of us. Now, listen, as he goes in a little bit more, helping them understand the reality of, if you didn't have America, here's what would have happened to you. Check this one out. Trump is awesome.
And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now, you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps.
Hey, yo, this dude is crazy. But he right, though. He say you be speaking German, or a little Japanese. Hey, yo, Trump is crazy, bro.
After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it.
And this is what it's funny, right? Sorry if I keep cutting off, but listen. I had somebody text me, somebody always trying to go back and forth with me. He hates Trump with all his might, right? And I'm like, he's like texting me, why does Trump want Greenland? Why does he want to take control of another country? I said, bro, do you think Trump is the first president to want to acquire Greenland? Like, you do know that at one point they had it, they gave it back, whatever they did, right? But what they don't understand about all of this stuff with Venezuela and Greenland is it's for national security. Like, it's in the Western Hemisphere, bro. It's in our hemisphere. It's national security. They're trying to make sure that China and other adversaries can't just, do what they want. You know? We seen what they were doing in Venezuela. We see what they're doing, trying to do with Canada. And listen, bro, Trump not biting the bait, bro. He not biting on nothing. Even at this same John, I think he's the president of Finland, was talking about, how they don't need America. They can pretty much, go to war and handle it on their own type of thing. And then 10 minutes later, this guy changed his whole tune when the lady brought up the fact, you said that you guys can, I forget how she worded it, but basically protect your, Finland without the United States. And he's like, oh, don't quote me, don't, like, basically, I didn't say that type of thing. Like, bro, he calling all of their bluffs, bro. Because they know Trump knows, bro. We got the biggest consumer market, we got the biggest military, and it's just what it is, bro. Just what it is.
But we gave it back. But how
Okay, I'm
ungrateful
gonna let it
are they
rock out.
now? So now our
Be
country
right back.
and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. And then after the...
So, like he told him, you'll be speaking a little bit of German, a little Japanese if it wasn't for us. And him talking about the weapons and that he can't even discuss, that's a very soft way of him letting them know. F around and find out. If you think what we did in Venezuela was something, step up to the plate and take your best shot. So that was a very soft, passive-aggressive way to let everybody in the room know. On the heels of all of the stuff that's taking place in the country right now, seniors, it's extremely important that you make nationals. I've been tripping lately. So he took this opportunity at Davos to decide that he was going to go against President Trump, and he was going to try to stir things up a little bit. But wait till you hear Trump's response when he heard about what he said, because he's going to address it at Davos. I love this man. But listen to this globalist elitist who the Canadians put in place, who is doubling down on working with China. What he just did, just so you know, he just did a deal with China, a trade deal to allow China to sell their EVs in Canada. But what the prime minister doesn't realize is that Canada has products that they can sell as what's called loss leaders. So they don't care about making money. They'll flood Canada with the EVs and sell them at prices that no other manufacturer in Canada can match. And that's the point, because they're going to bankrupt the other countries, put them out of business, severely damage them. And then at that point, once they're out of business, guess what? Then they can jack the prices up to whatever they want. There's nothing Canada can do about it. And in exchange for that, Canada gets the opportunity to sell like seed oil over in China, canola oil. Literally, that's the trade deal. China selling EVs, canola oil in China. But here's the way China plays the game. Yeah, they opened it up for you, but you'll find out that none of your product is really selling like that, while theirs is flooding the market, taking your businesses out because you signed the deal. And the fact that you've decided you were going to go against Trump in the United States in favor of that, attaching yourself to the EU, which is a sinking ship.
Facts.
They all want to be down with the United States. He's our partner and our so-called brother, dissing us to latch on to the people that are begging us to save him. And he decided to talk tough. Check this out.
Can't make this shit up.
On Arctic sovereignty, we stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
Listen, man, they, and I think Trump says it on here too. You need to watch how you talk. need to watch the words that comes out of your mouth, because some of these things that he's saying could be taken as threats, bro. And honestly, bro, people can say what they want. Oh, America's bullies. It is what it is, bro. And it's just, bro, it's just, I wish that everybody can get along. We could trade with every country and things could be all willy nilly. I wish it could be that way. But unfortunately, you know, you know, allies might be allies dressed as, actual enemies dressed as allies, and then you got these enemy. Like my thing is, dog, why are we're people don't even know that we're dependent on China for like medicine, like antibiotics and shit like that. Like why are we dependent on a so-called enemy for crucial, things that we need here in America, bro? And that's because we have politicians for decades who have been selling us the fuck out for a payday.
Our commitment to NATO's Article 5 is unwavering. So we're working with our NATO allies, including the Nordic Baltic Gate, to further secure the alliance's northern and western flanks, including through Canada's unprecedented investments in over-the-horizon radar, in submarines, in aircraft, and boots on the ground.
He talking about boots on the ground and military, dude. They beg us for help. So he said that, right? But that's not really what he said that got under Trump's gut.
That's
Got Trump's
hilarious.
goat. This is right here. Check this one out. This is what Trump got. And remember what he said about his support for Greenland and Denmark. Keep that in mind.
Argue the middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
You see what I'm saying?
Argue the middle powers must act together because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu.
You gotta watch who you listen, bro. You gotta watch what you say, man.
To let that replay again. So what he's telling, and he said more, but I just took this snippet because he's telling them, all of the middle powers, that they all need to unite, get together, and band together to kind of be like la resistance. Here's the kicker. The U.S. economy is the 800-pound elephant in the room, 800-pound gorilla, elephant, giraffe, dinosaur, whatever you want to call it. We are it. And the rest of them, without us, they fail. As a matter of fact, the fact that he was talking tough, listen to what President Trump had to say about it, because he definitely is going to address it. Check this out.
Going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your prime minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Yeah, you heard him let him know, okay, you want to talk tough now. You heard him say about Greenland, and you've heard the deranged Democrats say, oh, Greenland. Now, let me let y'all know something. For the last 150 years, every single president has wanted Greenland because of the positioning of it. Great trade routes. It's in the Western Hemisphere. If we allow Russia or China to get a foothold in the Western Hemisphere, that's danger for America. And why would we do that? And then with Denmark, who was controlling, whenever we wanted to do something in Greenland, we'd have to deal with Denmark. And if Denmark is under the control or being weak and being dominated by somebody else, that affects us if we got to go through them and they're not even controlling their situation. So in an effort, while at Davos, after this speech, President Trump actually spoke to the head of NATO, got with Greenland, and here's what he said on all the heels of what Carney had to say and all of the Democrats. Oh, Trump is evil. He's trying to be a dictator. No, every president wanted Greenland for strategy, military strategy, national security, but none of them had the situation, position, or maybe the cojones to go get it because they were too busy trying to play nice and look good on the global stage, and they lied to us acting like, it takes 4 years for a president's policies to make an impact in the country. That's bull, because we're watching it in real time. Listen to what our president had to say. This person said, President Trump stuns the world by announcing a solution to Greenland. Based on a very productive meeting that I have had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February the 1st. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Brian Maxwell, always bringing it, giving us the updates on what happened in Davos. If y'all want to check out the rest of that video, go to Brian Maxwell on YouTube and check it out. Yo, listen, man, this was a good one. At the end of the day, man, people can say what they want about Donald Trump, bro, but he is actually doing the right things that need to be done for America, bro. And that's what you want in a president, bro. The fact remains is that this is the system of America. This is the laws, this is the way it is set up here. And until further notice, this is what it is. So people, we have to really start um caring and actually voting the right people in, not just federally but locally also. That's, I feel as though it's more important than federally, to be honest with you, because um because you live in your city, you live in your state. You want your state to represent represent you, and you want certain things to go on. All of the stuff that's going on, I'm in a Democratic state, and the stuff that I be seeing, bro, is out of control. I'm gonna be honest, especially in the school system. And it just doesn't even. I don't even want to put my kids in public school, bro, because of the things that they're trying to put in schools, man. And it's getting out of control, bro. Period, man. But Trump is putting a stop to a lot, everything, all of this stuff, and exposing it, and it's a good thing, bro. It's a good thing. No matter what the media tells you, no matter how much they tell you that Trump is the bad man, and Trump is the dictator, and Trump is trying to, be a king, and all of this garbage. Oh, excuse me. At the end of the day, this stuff is needed, and he's doing what's right for America, bro. And he's not selling us out. He's not letting these countries do what they want, and just take up all of our money and our resources. No, it's time for them to pay their fair share. That's how the Democrats say it, pay their fair share. That's what all of these countries should be doing too. That's part of NATO. That's supposed to be our allies and all of that stuff. But instead we're footing the bill for everything. And that's coming to an end with Donald Trump, bro. It's coming to an end, man. And as far as the Black Panther stuff, I'm all for, like I said, I'm all for learning the law, positioning yourself to protect your community, but do it the right way, bro. Do it the right way. The aggression and things like that is not going to be a pretty sight, and it's not going to benefit us. And we need to talk about the real issues too. I'm not sitting there saying police aren't an issue. I believe that the whole police, you know, it needs to be reformed. It needs to be, in order to be a police officer, I believe you have to have extensive, you know, training, like extensive. Like the training that these police get now is basic, bro. It's basic. They pretty much giving out badges and guns to anybody. And, that needs to change for sure, bro. You have to be you have to have a certain mental capacity to be a police officer. And it does need to change. And but I don't think in 2026, I don't think police officers are the problem in the black community. I'm just being honest. At the end of the day, we're signing up to sell drugs. We're signing up to slide on the ops. We're signing up to gangbang. We're signing up to do all of the foolishness shit that we do. I participated in it. I, was 15, 20 years deep in it. Two bids, did 8 years. In and out of county jail. Sold all drugs, robberies, all this goofy shit that we grow up and become, not because when you were a kid you wanted to be a killer or a drug dealer. It's just because this is the environment that we live in. And so until we change the environment, we can't change our standing here in America, bro. So we need to change a lot of things in a positive way, man, and get back, because we got the talent, we got the smarts, the wits, the education, we got the swag. You know what I mean? We got everything, bro. We it. You know what I'm saying? Everything we touch turn to diamonds. You know what I mean? It's just that it's a lot of things on, the grassroots part of things that need to change. So that way generations to come will be, you know, a president or be, you know, anything we want to be, bro. We could be whatever we want to be, bro. We just got to do it. But man, that's the show for today, man. Hopefully you got something out of the show and it was positive. If you like the show, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to 1K subscribers. I truly do appreciate the few people that did tap in with me today. And also hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy go live. This your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Until next time, I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.